You know what I like most about you, Oz? You are who you are, and you couldn't change if you tried.
Hey, that what makes me fun.
The idea of a character living in our collective pop culture lexicon for almost a century does not happen without a certain amount of fluidity. While the broad strokes of the character may stay the same, how those brushstrokes paint the world is absolutely a reflection of that time. But what happens when that character becomes both a reflection and an echo? In the case of Colin Farrell's modern version of the Penguin, the character waddles the line between homage and reinvention, but maybe not in the direct ways you think.
Boy, you guys are a hell of a duet here. Why'd you start harmonizing? There's only one problem with your little scenario, okay? I ain't no rat!
The Penguin first appeared in 1941, introduced as Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot, a diminutive criminal mastermind with a penchant for sophistication and a love for birds. His original comic book persona was more akin to the rogues gallery of Dick Tracy, a villain named more for their physical appearance. He was dressed in a tuxedo and top hat, wielding a deadly umbrella, and possessing an aristocratic flair. His origins often depicted him as an outcast, mocked for his short stature and peculiar appearance. The character's transition to the screen began in the 1960s Batman TV series, where Burgess Meredith gave us a campy, larger-than-life portrayal. With his iconic laugh and flamboyant demeanor,
"On land you may command, at sea it is me."
Meredith's Penguin was less a menacing crime lord and a more theatrical antagonist that married the series' playful tone. That tone would be a different sort of playful in 1992's Batman Returns. Director Tim Burton pushed even harder into the macabre, casting Danny DeVito to play the Penguin. This version abandoned the aristocratic villainy for a grotesque, sewer-dwelling monster, complete with sharp teeth, flipper hands, and a tragic backstory as an abandoned child.
I want some respect, a recognition of my basic humanity. But most of all, I want to find out who I am.
While DeVito's performance was incredible, it leans so heavily into the grotesque that it became a far cry from the organized crime of the character's comics roots. If we're playing Goldilocks and the series' Penguin was too zany and Burton's was too dark, how does Matt Reeves' version of the character size up? Reeves as the Batman brought a seismic shift to the Penguin's cinematic portrayal. Set in a grim and hyper-realistic Gotham, Farrell's Oswald Oz Cobblepot is a far cry from the Penguin's theatrical and televised predecessors. Gone are the exaggerated bird-like traits and top hats and the elaborate umbrella gadgets. Instead, Farrell's Penguin is a mid-level gangster operating under Gotham crime boss Carmine Falcone. He runs the Iceberg Lounge, a seedy nightclub that serves as a hub for Gotham's criminal activity, positioning him as a secondary but vital cog in the film's narrative. Farrell's transformation into the Penguin is nothing short of remarkable, thanks in large part to the extraordinary prosthetics and makeup work by Mike Marino. The Irish actor adopts a Brooklyn-esque accent and a hulking physicality that emphasizes the Penguin's street-level grit.
You're gonna do everything I say, or else I'll murder you and anyone you care about.
His Penguin is an opportunist, a man with ambition who seeds under Falcone's shadow, waiting for his moment to rise. What makes this iteration of the Penguin stand out is its grounding in noir. For all Reeves' declarations that this Batman would be the detective we've been waiting for, much of the movie still boiled down to fistfights, a millionaire in bulletproof armor, and a big explosion. In that interrogation between Penguin, Gordon, and Batman might be the most noir moment in the film. The quick rat-a-tat dialogue between Oswald, Gordon, and Batman has the same sing-song cadence you'd find in something like Asphalt Jungle or The Long Goodbye. That old feeling, coupled with the realism Reeves and Farrell brought, also bled straight into the HBO series. Set 1 week after the events of The Batman, the Penguin TV series dives deeper into Oswald's rise to power in the aftermath of Carmine Falcone's death. Developed by Reeves with Lauren LaFranc as showrunner, the story sees Gotham in disarray, while Oz sees an opportunity to fill the vacuum left by Falcone's empire. The show, heavily inspired by The Sopranos, blends crime and personal drama, resulting in a series that is equal parts character study and mob epic.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it's not just good, it's better. It's the best.
The series introduces a backstory that positions Oswald as a former driver for the Falcone family. This reinterpretation draws clear parallels to Tony Soprano, particularly in the depiction of Oswald's complex relationship with his mother, a domineering and manipulative woman who echoes the infamous Livia Soprano. The series also gifts us with Kristen Milioti as Sophia Falcone. Sophia is let loose like a speedboat without a pilot. A presumed psychopath fresh out of Arkham, Sophia wants the criminal empire that has looked her over throughout throughout her life. In each and every scene with these two characters, we understand why they want this empire.
And I refuse to let these old men push me aside again like I'm nothing, so I'm gonna take from them now.
One of the Penguin's greatest strengths is Colin Farrell's performance. Farrell infuses Oswald with a raw intensity and charm, making him both relatable and terrifying. Whether he's plotting his next move or delivering a brutal monologue, his portrayal anchors the series, allowing the audience to empathize with Oswald's struggles while remaining wary of his darker tendencies. And this is something Farrell has subtly mastered throughout his career. From Tigerland to Banshees of Inisherin, he has learned to adapt to whatever character he's playing. None of that, however, would be possible without the world building in The Penguin. However, some creative choices hold the show back from reaching its full potential. In the series, the character's surname is shortened to Cobb from Cobblepot because the production found it to be a more grounded name. The Penguin's comic book origins as an orphan raised in the circus, a detail that underscores his outsider status, are largely abandoned in favor of a more conventional mobster narrative. While this approach makes sense within the grounded framework of the series, it risks losing some of the eccentricities and flamboyance that have historically defined the character. Additionally, the series' heavy reliance on Sopranos' influence can sometimes feel too on the nose. For example, the portrayal of Oswald's mother, while brilliantly acted, feels almost like a carbon copy of Livia Soprano, detracting from the originality of the narrative. For all the joy we get out of seeing realistic interpretations of comic book characters, sometimes it is nice to have them reflect their comic book origins and not just The Sopranos or Goodfellas, because those choices risk overshadowing the unique qualities that made the Penguin a distinct figure in Gotham's lore. As a great example of what you can do when you balance both the comic and realism, the first episode of Amazon's Caped Crusader in Treacherous Waters is pretty pitch perfect. The Penguin here is a crime lord who will even go after her own children to protect her crime empire.
He was my favorite.
There is, of course, a love for Oz Cobb throughout the HBO series, but not necessarily love for the Penguin, which is all a real shame, because so much of the Penguin just works. And there is also something so disheartening to see the quote-unquote weird of it all being stripped away. But it's undeniable that the Penguin succeeds in striking a balance between gritty realism and the heightened world of Gotham. The show's ability to humanize Oswald while maintaining his villainous edge is a testament to Farrell's performance and the strength of the writing. By delving into the Penguin's psyche and exploring his rise to power, the series adds depth to a character often overshadowed by flashier villains like the Joker or the Riddler. Colin Farrell's reinvention of the Penguin in The Batman and the Penguin TV series marks a significant evolution for the character, transforming him from a campy caricature into a complex, grounded figure. While the series occasionally stumbles in its execution, particularly in its over-reliance on mob drama conventions, it remains a compelling exploration of Gotham's underworld and a testament to Farrell's exceptional performance. Few interpretations have redefined him as thoroughly and successfully as Colin Farrell's portrayal. But here's hoping another season gives us a little more strange, or at least an umbrella with a retractable blade. So, what do you think? Who are some other villains you'd like to see receive a more realistic take? Let us know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching Nerdstalgic.